What's up, kind people of YouTube? My name is Ahmed and welcome back to yet another video. Today we're discussing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and yes, it was really good. It was worth the hype and truly one of the films that works because of what the characters are and who James Gunn is. I personally think James Gunn just came back to tell us goodbye. Honestly, his writing style and his direction style does suit Marvel more than it does suit DC. I mean, DC is a different world altogether. It's really dark. Marvel Comics is lighter. The humor is expected to be there. The cast is supposed to be funnier than DC. Not to rip into DC too much. I'm going to rip into DC in another video altogether because that's kind of my job. One thing that the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 does really well is how the humor, the cast, and the writing come together to deliver one of the better films that Marvel has produced in the last 3-4 years since No Way Home. I don't think a lot of the films that have come out from Marvel's end have matched the quality of content that we've been watching from Marvel. I mentioned this in the Wakanda Forever review as well, and the reason why I'm mentioning it here is in the last 5 years since Endgame, I think there have been only 2 films that have actually stood out for me. 3 maybe: No Way Home, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and nothing else has really stood out. Yes, I watched the other content. They haven't made a big impact in my life, so not a big Marvel fan, but still I would like some good quality content because DC is not making good quality content. What can we do about that? Let's get into why Guardians of the Galaxy worked for me, and one of the biggest reasons why Guardians of the Galaxy work: well casted characters like Peter Quill, Drax the Destroyer, Groot, even Bradley Cooper as Rocket. In my mind, there is nobody else that can play the character apart from who played them, and that is one of the biggest reasons why this film works. Next reason why this film works is because the chemistry of the cast is so strong. Like from the first film, we knew these guys are going to be really well gelled. I hope that makes sense. Really well gelled. But the chemistry does pay off in the kind of humor that they are bringing together. Drax's inability to understand metaphors, for example, or Rocket just not dealing with the emotional baggage that he's carrying, or none of us understanding what Groot says until you actually understand what Groot says, which was one of the best moments in the film for me. I mean, it's been 2 weeks since the film came out, and if you haven't seen it already, just go watch the film, man. Come on. One of the biggest reasons why the humor works in this film is the fact that it's such a well-drilled, well-written James Gunn story, because the James Gunn style of storytelling is very unique. I mean, quite frankly, initially, I don't think anybody thought that Guardians of the Galaxy was going to be one of the bigger hits from Marvel. I think this film does really good justice to bring together the humor, the cast for one final hurrah that it actually does. Now, of course, being a Marvel film, what makes MCU what it is the amount of CGI and visually stunning shots that it does have. Now, the CGI in this film, it's there. It's like 80% CGI and 20% real life. But anyway, you know you're watching CGI characters, but you don't feel out of place for them. It feels realistic, and that's one of the reasons why the characters work. The last reason why I feel the story does so well: it's so emotionally resonant, and it's a farewell film. You feel that in the film, like the characters have been able to say goodbye to the audience, to each other, and the director has been able to say goodbye to one of the bigger franchises that have come across. Now, there are a couple of drawbacks to the film. Like, there are a lot of good things that happen because of the film, but then there are also a couple of things that I felt the film didn't do well. It's rather long, man. Like, it's nearly 3.5 hours of watching, and after a point, I just, like, it was too much. I can't sit in a place for nearly 3.5 hours, man. Like, I love watching films, but I watch it in bits and parts. Like, I can watch an hour and then I need like a 20-minute break and then I watch another hour, and that's how we've grown up watching cinema anyway. Indian cinema for the win. And one of the other things that I think this film didn't do really well, its ability to be predictable. Like, there were a lot of plot points that were predictable. There were a couple of moments where I just sat there and I'm like, हाँ ठीक है अभी ये होने वाला है, and it happened and I'm like, हाँ. I knew it. But overall, it still had a very good flow. The humor worked in its favor, the action was really compelling, and you end up watching the film for what it is. It's kind of predictable that you are watching a Marvel film. So, and if you've seen, please do leave in the comments down below why you love the film, why you didn't love the film. And I'm going to leave a couple of videos for you to watch in the next few minutes. Peace and see you in the next one.